Culturally Clueless.
What's up, everybody, and welcome, salam alaikum, to Culturally Clueless. We have a bunch of interesting topics. So we're going to talk about a confession that South Korea made. But Israel also made a couple of confessions. We're going to talk about the kola nut, organ trafficking, and much more. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, we back with a new episode. And how is everyone?
Exhausted. Was a busy Sunday for me because today is Mother's Day in the United States. So we have some celebrations, some places to go to visit. So I was up and down all day today. And on top of that, I went to bed at 4 a.m. So awesome. But happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy that I'm always happy to be here. And I'm happy that you are with us, Maria, of course, after all these adventures that you had to go through. So I got asked by my son, because you mentioned the Mother's Day in the US, and it's also the Mother's Day in
Everywhere else.
in Australia as well. Yeah, well, not everywhere else.
No,
because,
not everywhere,
in the Middle East,
but
it's the 21st of March. So
and in
it was
the
like 2
UK too.
months ago. Oh, okay. So yeah, I was asked by my son. He said, "Well, when is the Father's Day?" And that was the funny question for me, because I was like, honestly, I don't know. I don't remember.
May 29. Well, in Germany
Oh, is
at
it?
least. In Germany at least.
Okay, I'm gonna research that. So yeah, it was a funny question, because and it was like a disappointment for my son as well, that I don't really know. But I was like, well, honestly, I actually returned it back at him. I told him, well, you should know. I'm the father here. You should surprise me.
But you should have
But yeah,
shown him the wonders of Google.
well, look, I'm gonna show you something here. This is, I got it a couple of years ago from my older son. Best, what does it say? Best dad in the galaxy, right? I got it on Father's Day. Yeah. So, but you can imagine that, like I'm happy to receive gifts, but I don't really know the date. I don't know when is the date. Bring me the gift and I'll thank you for it.
Wow.
So yeah, well,
the United States.
Huh?
I don't know when it is here. I think it's in June. Isn't it June?
It's around that time,
And
I guess.
my country is March 19.
we're talking about the Father's
Mother's
Day,
Day,
right?
my country is May. Huh? Yes. March 19.
Well,
And Mother's
in my
Day.
country, there is no Father's Day.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I don't even
Yeah,
understand
that's why
why
I
the
don't.
Middle East has a Mother's Day. This is a very weird thing to me.
Why?
Because
What
that's
is not Father's Day?
dumbest thing in the world to have a Mother's Day. It's the same
Yeah, you're
stupid
right.
thing
Every
like
day should be Mother's Day.
like Valentine's Day and all of these stupid days where they dictate to people.
Well, it's a
when to-
commercial.
Yeah.
It's a commercial reason behind it. Like, for example, for Valentine's Day, I love it because the day after, everything is 50% off. All the chocolates are half price. Best thing ever.
Even
All right.
after we spoke about the chocolate in the last episode?
Ooh.
Oh, damn it.
Oh.
Good call out. I guess next year, I'm going to save my 100% of the money.
See, I'm trying to help
Today,
you.
someone offered me a hot chocolate, and I was like, I think I was hot, and I say no. So,
well, to be honest,
okay,
you
guys.
have to make sure if this is like good produced chocolate, because Ghana is striking a lot of deals at the moment. They have some leverage, so you have to check the companies.
Yeah, I'm definitely more conscious now after the last episode. Yeah, that's
Maybe we
gonna
should
take
every
some
week
practice.
we should come here and spoil something for people.
Everybody drink water only
Okay,
from
do you
now
have
on.
something for today? Do you
Yes,
have something for today
yes.
to to ruin for the people?
Oh, yes, but it's already been ruined for them. So it's not our fault, but I want to add to it. Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
So Maria, we
They're
don't have a
gonna start
question.
watching us.
No.
No, we don't have a question today because I wanna
Yes,
use this time that you gave me for my question
I give you.
to mention a beautiful comment that I read today.
Hmm.
The commenter name is Reasonable Doubt. I seek you, and I wanna bring that up because I was having like a very awful week. I was just dragging myself this week. And today I opened the comment to check what is new, and I saw this beautiful uh, um, writing a comment full of encouragement and loving thoughts. It make my day, guys. So that's why I sent you a screenshot. Please read it and go comment because it was beautiful. He is a person that is struggling with cancer right now. Um, so I'm gonna pray for the person every day for him. Hopefully, um, he has easy days coming. But what he said to us, and that he started watching 2 months ago, and he loves the podcast. He described each of us, what he likes about us, and he's telling us to keep going. That the news are important, the encouragements are important, and what we do matters. So he had me crying for an hour. So I wanted to share it with everybody. If you can, is everybody listening right now? Can go to the last episode and look for that comment and show him some love. I will really, really appreciate it. What you guys thought?
Yeah, so first of all, I need to thank you, Maria, for sharing this with us because I wasn't really, I woke up and I saw the screenshot that you sent us. I really want to thank you for sharing it with us. And like you said, it really made my day. Reading this first thing in the morning when you wake up, that's amazing. And again, as you said, I would pray for that person to, inshallah, their life would be easy, and inshallah, their struggle or their battle, let's call it the battle with cancer, inshallah, they will win it, and it will be, you know. Uh, I just wish them the happiest days ever. And again, I would encourage all our listeners and viewers to go and have a look and comment and show some love. The words really touched me. I was looking and I was reading the words and I was thinking that, well, you know, I agree with every single word this person said about Maria and Nez, because, of course, obviously, I really appreciate them so much and they are family to me. I was wondering if I'm worthy of their words, but I really thank them. And inshallah, all I can say is that I promise that you're gonna hate this, Ness. I'm gonna do my best to be always there. I'm gonna do my best to be always here and give the best I can. That's for sure. And this is the power of words. You can imagine, guys. The power of words. Just all you need is just a nice word, some nice comment from someone, and that will keep you going. It will keep you going for days. So let's just be nice to each other. Let's show love to each other. That's all it takes. And that's it for
Yes,
me.
beautiful.
Yes.
I think you guys said everything.
Oh, nice.
And you know what?
It was
For
better.
for
You okay?
everyone watching and for everyone is commenting, okay. Um, I love you all, and Nez and Maria, and you know exactly what I'm saying this. I really love you both. You are family to me, okay?
Oh, you make Ness cry now.
So these
Ness.
kind of comments, they come every now and then. And it's just a nice reminder of what's out there in the world, I guess, and the struggle people
Mhm.
have, and they still have, like, oh my God, I'm such a crybaby. I think we need to cut this out.
No,
Maria,
Yeah,
Maria, do your
no,
show.
no,
magic. Do your
It's
magic,
important.
Maria.
no, we need to cut this.
No,
Is
those
so
tears are important because that
No.
was me earlier because I read it and I start crying like a baby. Sophia is mommy, are you okay? And like because I was between laughing and crying. And but
Did she
yes,
not
like
tell you to
Nesta,
cry on the inside?
she did want to cry at the inside. And
Like normal people?
oh my God. We
That's
were
what you
alone,
would
so I
say
guess
to
it
me,
didn't matter.
right? Can you cry on the inside?
It's the
Like
story
normal people.
behind that. My child is one of the most outspoken. So yeah, but I think those tears that Ness has are
Oh my God.
important because
No.
is that comment was amazing. Like Ness pointed out, like, he has more important things to worry about the commenting in the video, but he took time to let us know that what we do matter. We're trying to improve. Like Ness is a professional. Ray is like knows everything. I'm just starting,
What?
so for me it's an
I know
honor
everything.
to participate. And thank you for noticing. Thank you for but I promise you that what we're doing, we're trying to improve, try to make it better, to make a difference, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
let's
look,
say
you
everything.
just Maria, you gave us some you gave Nez and myself some good description and good credit, and like I have to give you a lot of credit as well. You are an amazing person, and
No, but
you
what I'm
What's
trying to
going on
say is
you know
like
today?
that I mean it.
What's going on
no, but
today?
No, because
what
like she gave us like like for you, you're a professional and everything, and like Ray,
no,
knows everything.
but
I wish I do, and
Wait. Oh my God. This was supposed to be a compliment. Oh, thank you. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
yeah.
I wasn't even listening.
No, but what I
I'm so
try to say is
Mhm.
like
sorry. Oh
there are people like me that woke up to the war struggle a year ago. You know what I mean? And most of us are kind of shy to speak out, to learn more, because we know that we don't know. You know what I mean? So, and this
Mm.
person pointed out that now that I'm awake, I want to know more. I want to speak out more, and for everybody out there that like me just woke up to what's going on, don't be afraid. Let's start talking because that's what we need. We need more outspoken people. There's no time being shy and quiet is a luxury that we cannot have anymore. If you have information, you want to speak, you have to. Time is running out, and be it's not we don't have more to spend. So thank you for everybody knowing that out there.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yep, yep.
Okay. So after this, we can. What are we talking about next? What are we talking about?
We're gonna talk about. We have to talk about it
What?
about
Oh,
the
Christ.
occupation. You
Of
see
course.
this, and it's a law that happened. A law that happened uh this week, and then I know that most people say, "Well, you always talk about," because they are involved in absolutely everything. And then last week, right? Finally, after months of denying, they admit that the goal on the Gaza Strip is to take over. For 18 months, they were saying, oh, no, we just want the hostages back. No, we fight against Hamas only. No, we don't have intention to take over the land. We just We just want our safety. But finally, after months and months, the life after life, they admitted the main goal right now is take over the land. What they're doing right now is separating the people in what they call it little Gazas, in camp with a few people isolated to each other until they can take over.
This week, we seem to have gotten an answer. All of the above. After breaking a ceasefire that in the first 2 months of this year led to the release of 30 Israeli hostages and hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu now says the real aim of the war is not the hostages, but a supreme victory over Hamas.
I remember after, like on October the 8th, basically when they started their attacks. And I remember watching all these, the interviews of some of their people, some of their officials or spokespeople when they are talking to talking on TV when they're during interviews, and when they were talking about, let the people of Gaza to go to Egypt or to a neighboring country until we, get rid of Hamas and rebuild the place and let them back in. Well, of course, we all heard that, and we all, in our minds, it was like, yeah, sure, yeah, that's exactly what happened 75 years ago, and that's what you are trying to do again, right? And they kept denying it, just like Maria said. They kept saying all the time that all they need is the hostages. Well, they could have gotten the hostages the next day, basically. But it showed the intention, like the amount of destruction, the amount of attacks, the amount of atrocities that they made there, they did there. Bombing hospitals, schools, even the camps themselves, the refugee camps, tents, the areas that they said that they are safe and they're not going to bomb. So it's obvious. All they had to do was to just say it, but they were saying it without saying it for 1.5 years already now. But that would get us to ask the question, like, why did they do it now? Why did they say it explicitly now? All right. Can we relate to Trump's comments, or can we relate to Trump's being in the office anyway? Because
but you see what Trump did, right? Apparently he cut ties with Netanyahu because Netanyahu is too manipulative. So the timing is very interesting. And this is all a game. I'm sorry. I personally didn't need their confession because this was very clear to all of us. The reason why this confession is very important is because for all the people who are still in denial and still don't understand what's really going on, they needed that. We all didn't need that. But it's important for the rest of the world who is still deciding to or choosing to be ignorant and choosing to believe whatever they are fed.
Yeah. Is there anyone, or let me put it this way. Do I hear still anyone saying that they are trying to fight terrorism or something? What they call terrorism, of course, which is not. Do I still hear that? Or is that statement enough for everyone who's still denying? Is that enough for you guys to understand what is going on? And what had been going on for, a century already?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if people, they shifted the narrative a while ago where they say everyone, like none of the people in Gaza are innocent. And this is how they justify this. So basically, the whole 2.3 million people, or I should say, those that are left of the 2.3 are all terrorists, according to them. That's how they justify whatever they're doing.
Well, but again, when they say that and when they put it fully openly like this, right? again, they are doing it and they are saying, yes, we are doing this and we'll keep doing this because we can.
I mean, like let's say, last week, Trump cut ties with Netanyahu, right? And
Allegedly.
also he say
Mhm.
that the U.S. is gonna recognize Palestine as a state.
Did he say that?
Even though I was surprising, huh?
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said the U.S. is gonna
You heard
recognize,
it from his mouth?
but he hasn't done it yet.
Wait,
Huh?
you heard it from his mouth,
Yeah,
or it was written?
he's saying it was written in a note from the video in the Middle East.
Oh, but it was not. It was you didn't hear it from him.
It was not a recording, it was a report.
Because my question would have been then, was he high or drunk or I don't know. Like,
I think you know how petty he is, right? Like, for example, you heard him praising the Yemen, the Houthis,
yeah.
and all this is not because he understands or because he's a great person or because he finally saw the lie. It's because he's attacking Netanyahu, basically. No, this is he being petty.
Well,
And
the reason why they say he did that was more because Netanyahu and some other people are trying to attack or plan and plot against Iran behind his back. So it's an ego thing again.
yeah, he said that Netanyahu tried to manipulate him, and he needs to show the world that he's not someone that can be manipulated.
Oh my God.
Yeah, sure.
But so he also promised aid into Gaza. So there's a lot of promises in the air. And for me, the most important, because just recognizing Palestine as a state is not enough, right? So what? You recognize it and then what? I think the most important action the U.S. should take, and now that he has the power to take, is let the aid in now. So that is the action that I'm waiting the most. Get the food into the Gaza. We need to feed this Palestinian that is starving. They're in starvation. Kids are dying. Adults are dying. Everybody's dying because of the lack of food. And we here in the West, we don't understand what that means. But it's such.
But we have more.
So recognize Palestine is not enough. We need 18. And to the people listening, please reach out to the people that in your countries and you see to let them know that you pressure them, that your government needs to speak up and to let this aid in. We can put some pressure as well. But this is the most important. For me right now, let the food into Gaza.
So honestly, I hate to be negative Nancy, but I guess that's my job forever. I find it very suspicious when all of a sudden all or most governments act in the same way. So we have UK speaking out against the occupation. Now we have Trump making his comments. And you guys want to tell me this is not something that was agreed on? You guys want to tell me this is not something that they established together? I don't know. I find it very interesting.
Well, I want to be the positive one, and I think that is the pressure of the people, because a lot of students in protests almost every day. We have been email, call here as well, and I know in the UK as well. So maybe this is the answer to our prayers. Maybe something happened, who knows? But we need action now. That's the only thing that I know for certain.
100%.
You know,
Let's see.
yeah,
Time will
exactly.
tell.
But yeah, Yeah, I agree with the with the people, or trying to give some, not relief, but just to give the people something to in order to slow them down, because they know that the awareness is being spread. They know that people are getting more informed and more educated. So at least, words are for free. We can make some statement and some speeches, and at least to give the people some spark of hope. It happens like, just like, it just happened in the West. It used to happen even in some Arabic countries as well. Although there are dictatorships, but you can see those dictators, they would do some gestures, and they would do some speeches, and let's say they take some actions, and so that the people would see that, oh, okay, the our leader is a good person, and like you heard what they said. So this is the thing. It's just to relieve some of the pressure. But I hope there's something more behind it. I always hope for the best, that's for sure. But see to believe, like Maria says all the time.
Those who wish to disregard the law may think they can get away with it, and get away with impunity, because we are moving away from a world of world order and world international legal order to a world that existed before the first Geneva Convention in the last quarter of the 19th century, to a world where states feel they can do whatever they like and then go ahead and do it.
I think a few weeks ago, we talked about the paramedics that were killed, execution style. We saw the videos. We saw Israel deny it, right? They said no, they were Hamas. No, the vehicles were not marked. They were not light. Then after they found, when the occupation buried the ambulance, they found the video with all the details. So an investigation was open. And now they are calling this a professional error. That's how they call it, right? So
Yes,
they admitted what they did,
operational error.
but just operational error. So another admission after a lie. They also happened this week. So the truth comes out at the end. So that's why they kill these people without mercy. They deny it for weeks, and finally they admitted. They did, well, not admitted per se. They admitted they were there, but they call it an error. But for everybody, the video is posted so you can see exactly that they were ambulance and they were paramedic.
Yeah, lights were there. Everything was there. Boxes are ticked for an emergency, for emergency vehicles that are supposed to be protected and not attacked, basically. But yeah, I think did they at some point, did they stop the investigation about this and stating that those are not really breaching the Israeli code of ethics or something? Did I hear something like that?
They tried in the
Correct me if I'm wrong,
beginning.
guys.
They tried in the beginning, but the pressure was too big this time, because I think, like, for me, one of the most, and I think this forever will haunt me, and I cried for a week. This guy who was calling his mother and apologizing that he's dying and he cannot help more people. These things are just on another level of, I don't know how to even, there is no words that can describe something like this. There's really no words. And so I think the pressure was very big, and they finally started investigating. But I wanna say this again, and this is very important. I don't care about the Israeli investigations, as long as they don't let anyone else come in to investigate. Same like they don't allow any international media, any international anything coming in to investigate or assess the situation. They just simply don't. And this is an internal investigation on their own people, on their own occupying force that for a century, how Ray said earlier, killing and torturing people. And then this same guy, this commander, where they say this is breach of order and operational error, the same guy is the same guy we talked about last week, who is in the Congo and has a new job. He is training security forces in the Congo, another place that the Zionist entity is ruining for over 30 years.
Well,
They had their
yeah,
hands in everything.
yeah. Look, all of this about the ambulance and the paramedics. Again, if someone has any doubts, the recordings and the videos of Hind Rajab as well, which it also relates to the same subject. So it is there. So if anyone still is asking or thinking that that might be an operational error, refer back to that video as well and to that recording. But yeah, mentioning the that guy Ashurov, that commander who moved to Congo. Well, so this is the thing. Did he move there because, let's say, an action was taken, or at least to show that an action was taken against him, and he's relieved from his duties in the IDF? But he was they found him another job.
Yes, the IDF is training also other forces, same like the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces in Sudan, are being trained by the same people, and so are these people in the Congo. So did they find him a new job? Yes, but it's the same thing. Like, it happens a lot in the police force, and I don't want to say it's everyone, but I've seen it many times where one police officer, I don't know, like steps out of line or does something out of order, and then all that happens to him is he's being suspended, and then he's just being placed in a different precinct. And this is exactly what happened here. It's just a different country, but it's the same people, and he's working for the same people, used to doing the same things.
But this guy is like, this guy and others, of course. I think they didn't go there as as a representative of their government. They went there as under some kind of a private company that provides some services, like a contractor.
Yeah, could be. I mean, it's mercenaries, and we know that the mercenaries are the new people who really carry out wars. When you look at the Wagner mercenary and all of the mercenaries all around the world, it's just like these ex-military people, as you say, who are private contractors or privately getting paid by companies.
Yes, and we saw this in Thailand. So in Thailand, they have a custom that every time that you enter, you need to remove your shoes. We all know that. More Asian cultures, I believe, do this practice.
Do you guys take off your shoes at home?
So, I do take my shoes off.
Yeah,
because I have carpet. So,
what is that again?
Do you take your shoes at home? I mean, do you take your shoes off at home when you enter a house? Do you take your shoes off?
Yes, of course. Even if there's no carpets. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the normal thing to do, right?
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yes. So this woman went to a restaurant, I think it was, is that right? And the people asking, please, can you remove your shoes? Oh, forget it was a potential. Like, how dare you talk to me and asking that? And so this Israeli woman basically told them that my money, Israeli money, build your country.
Thank you. You are not welcome here. That's enough. I'm sorry, but your money, but my money, okay, build your country. Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, so yeah, that entitled woman, in fact, it's not again, it's not only her. We keep hearing stories like this. We keep hearing similar stories, right? And and they can't really stop, or they can't help themselves not to open their big mouth, and they get recorded, and it goes viral, and all of a sudden, that she would put something on her social media, and she would start explaining herself, and like, this is not what I meant, and I had like a foot condition that I cannot really take my shoes off. Like, yeah, sure.
What?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that what she said? No, she didn't say that. Did she say that?
I
No,
read
she didn't say that.
something like this. I read something about it, like she was she apologized on social media, and she claimed that like she had a foot condition, that she was permitted to keep her shoes on. But like, also I read something about her, that that the video didn't really show or capture the aggression she experienced from the others in the cafe, right? Oh, so doesn't that remind you, with all their behavior about, yeah, they have the right to defend themselves, we are the people who are getting attacked. So again, that's a what do you call it? That's how they always are.
Victim culture.
They cry victim.
Yeah.
Yes.
They really literally invented victim culture. I've been complaining about victim culture for years, because everybody at some point is a victim. Everybody is going through something. Everybody needs sympathy. And at some point, it's just like, what happened to society that everybody is a crybaby and everybody is a victim? Like, we need to change this whole mentality. And we can clearly see who invented this and who actually manipulated society to become this.
Oh my
this
God.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So yeah. And you know what? There is actually, and this is how you say, like, these people, there's a lot of them. They come to Thailand. They stay for almost 3 months. They leave to a neighboring country and come back, because that's when their visa resets. And they are very destructive. There's so many videos of how destructive and disrespectful these people behave in different countries, right? And I don't say that other nationalities or ethnicities don't do that, but it's very extreme. Especially, I find it crazy. Like, you want the world's empathy, because you need to defend yourself and you need to exist and all of this kind of stuff. Why don't you just like tone it down and behave, at least while your country is committing a genocide?
The thing about it also is that, like you said, they invented the victim thing, but this is the crazy part of it, is like, they would cry victim, but they would also, just like this woman and so many of them, from that with that mentality, they would cry victims, but at the same time, like, she was caught on camera, pretty much acting as a supremacist, right? In fact, not pretty much. She was acting as a supremacist.
She was.
And yeah. So again, like, there's the victim card, and then there's the supremacy, and like, we are the only people who have the right to live, and everyone else should be, serving us.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it works this way, honestly. I'm either the victim or the supremacist and the boss, basically.
No, these people, they do both. Okay, so I think it's time to move on to this topic, which I find very crazy. So the US, once again, the nerve to suggest to deport criminal migrants and whatever type of migrants, because just because they say they are criminal, it doesn't really mean that they're criminal. According to the US, everyone is criminal that they don't want to see and like. So they want to deport them to countries like Rwanda and Libya.
We are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are actively, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country.
Y the audacity of Marco Rubio to say that. Like, does he know where he come from?
No, he conveniently forgot. He's totally whitewashed. Although I feel like even when he talks, I would never, I don't know. Like when you just hear him talking, I would never believe he's a white person. He's not. He totally forget. But it's your people, Maria. Defend him.
He's not my people. We no claim him. I don't know what happened. But no, you see, it's outrageous to me that someone that had backgrounds as immigrant go and start a wars against immigrants as well. Like the reason why so many people came here as a refugee is because of you. It's because the United States. This is the ruins our economy. This destabilize, I don't know how to speak. Remove the security in our countries, and we have no other choices but to flee. But somehow we are the problem.
Well, I hate to say it, but there was a particular president who was of a different background, who was very charismatic, which made him extremely likable. But he dropped a lot of bombs on different countries. And this was very sad because he was very charismatic and maybe still is, but that doesn't help him anymore. And people still were willing to vote someone of a minority because she's a woman with the same agenda. So it doesn't really matter what ethnicity you are, what race you are. They all have to, like adhere to the same agenda and the same playbook. It doesn't make no difference.
Well, in America, the Republicans and Democrats are like these two faces of the same coin. They all want the same.
Exactly. But then you have some amazing people like Cory Bush and Jamal Bowman. You still have some really amazing people who are not really bowing down to AIPAC and this whole policy of whatever Israel wants, Israel gets. So these people want to deport people to these countries. And to be very fair, we have to say that the UK actually started this mess with, what's his name? Rishi Sunak. He was the prime minister, the one that stepped down because he's a failure. This guy is like the devil, like in disguise, seriously. Like he is Indian himself, and he's so full of hate and I don't even know, like a despicable person. And he started this whole mess. They invested over $200 million into Rwanda to build homes and, like different places, like where these refugees were supposed to go. So every refugee that was coming from somewhere to the UK were supposed to be deported to Rwanda, but a lot of human rights organizations fought it, and it went really, really far because they had really invested the money. Everything was ready in Rwanda, and Rwanda was receiving a lot of money. But the problem is 60% of the population in Rwanda have no electricity, no running water. This is where they wanted to deport people who come from war-torn countries, wars that they started. So, and obviously this is not happening. And then Germany tried to enter the chat by saying, okay, well, if the UK is not going to do it anymore, we might as well just use whatever they build. That didn't work out. And I guess the US is trying their luck now. And Libya, I have no idea why Libya, because the US totally destroyed Libya. So.
Yeah. And now that you brought Germany, I want to make a correlation between present and past. There is a reason why these people do this in different countries and not their own. Like I was surprised to know that most of them think the Holocaust happened in Germany, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actually happened, everything they did it in Poland.
Yes,
Austria
most
is
of
in
it.
Poland.
Mm-hmm.
So these are copy. It's exactly the same actions. They're doing this inhumane mistreatment, incarcerations in other countries, not in your own. And it's a reason for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Ray, do you have an idea why they chose Libya? Apart from the fact that it's one of the richest countries in oil in Africa, and they destroyed it
Well,
when,
mm,
yeah.
look, it is, yeah, of course, it's, as you said, like you said, it's one of the richest countries, but
Mm.
it's one of the least populated countries as well, country,
Really?
right? Yeah. What is the population of Libya? It's like compared to its area, it's very low populated.
Okay.
But I'm not sure why Libya exactly. But the thing is, it's just the concept of having, countries who are pretty much, let's call them supremacist, and some other countries who are the dumpsters of those supremacists.
Mm.
Like we're talking about criminals, we're talking about illegal immigrants, or we are talking about just legal immigrants, but they're just misfortunate that they were just because they are from a different color or for whatever the reason is. Especially nowadays, we can't really tell what is the reason. Okay, and yeah, okay, these people don't qualify to live in our amazing, awesome, shiny country. So let's find them a place where we can dump them. That's how it is. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Right. And they just they categorized countries like, like Rwanda or Libya or whatever. Look, because I heard something else. When their Syrian regime fell on December last year, right? And we saw all those videos about the Saidnaya prison and the other prisons that were there. Okay, I heard and I read some reports as well about agreements that were done between some Western countries and the Syrian regime about taking prisoners and having them there in those prisons. So again, Syria was one of those dumpsters, apparently.
Okay, well, you know what? Okay, actually, this is very obvious why they choosing these countries like Libya or Syria. It's the same reason why they choose Rwanda, and it's the same reason why they choose El Salvador because and then actually Marco Rubio said it. They say we are making deals or striking deals with countries, so that means they're paying countries, and that's the only reason. It's again money.
Yeah,
But the money is
paying
sent to the
countries.
corrupt governments, right? Because the people don't see that money. They're buying politicians,
Exactly.
basically.
Yeah, but what's so interesting in Libya is they have two governments. They have an Eastern and a Western government. And I'm just wondering which one is more corrupt. I want to say the Western because the Eastern deals with the oil refineries while the Western government deals with the money. And so they were beefing recently because the Eastern government they stopped the oil production because the Western government had fired somebody from the central bank and replaced them, and they were not okay with it. So they said, okay, we're going to stop the production, and therefore you make no more money. So I want to say, and I'm not sure here, the Western government is more corrupt, but it's just interesting that they have two governments and still yet they have this type of deal going on.
Yeah, that's true. When I mentioned the population of Libya, I just looked it up now. We're talking about like less than 8 million people. That's as 2023.
For
as
real?
of 2023. Yeah.
Wow. So it's almost like as big as like a big city like London or something.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So it seems like they have a lot of empty spaces there. And like you said, there are some deals there where we've got oil in the game, we've got all of this. So well, okay, they have enough space to take as many people as they want, as they can.
Yeah. So the next topic is, okay, so do you guys still drink Coke?
No,
Honestly.
I boycott it.
Boycotting. Yeah, we used to.
Okay, so everybody used to drink Coke?
I used to, yes.
Yes.
So don't you guys think they did us a great favor by making us boycott this because it's the most unhealthiest thing ever?
Yeah, I did. I heard that some people use it to kill insects.
And not only that, you can even clean like steel with it and stuff like that, according to some people. I've never tried it, but according to some people, you can.
See, boycotting saves lives.
And the interesting thing is, there was a time, so Coke came out in 1885 or something like that, or 1885 or 86, I don't remember. And
let's say 1890s, yeah, okay.
Yeah, something like that. So, and then there was actual cocaine in there.
Yes. And that's where the cocoa came from.
Yes.
Coca came in the name. Mm-hmm.
And they changed it they started changing it in 1903, and the first cocaine-free Coke came out in 1929. They took 26 years to fix it. That's insane. And the reason why I thought it was interesting to talk about this is more like this kola nut. And this is like a nut from the kola tree, which is indigenous to West Africa, and it's actually used in like, because it has like a lot of caffeine, so it is used in traditional medicine. They try to fight fatigue, like, or even blood pressure, heart conditions, all type of stuff. They fight with it. And this used to be actually one of the main ingredients of Coca-Cola, and then they changed it because it was too expensive, and they replaced it with artificial ingredients to basically, achieve a similar taste. And the reason why I feel like, okay, so there's a lot of people who are very upset that they have to boycott Coke, or they don't want to boycott Coke. But I just wanted to point out how unhealthy this stuff is, because all these artificial stuff that's in there is absolute poison. It's not just the sugar. It's really this artificial replacements that they're using that makes it absolutely, yeah.
Coca-Cola has historically kept its formula a secret, but in the late 19th century, it was marketed as a medicinal beverage because of two key ingredients. The first being coca leaves, which contained small amounts of a stimulating drug that we don't have to name, and the second being cola nuts. Cola nuts are naturally high in caffeine and stimulate our central nervous system.
I think they shouldn't even be allowed to sell it, to be honest.
It should be illegal.
Well,
yeah.
Apparently, apparently it's still getting sold. But that brings something, some other thought that to me about the coconut. Sorry, the cola nut, not the coca, the cola nut, and its origins and the way it's harvested. Doesn't that remind us, or does that? Shall we do some research about how is it being harvested and what is involved in it? So maybe we can end up with something like the chocolates. What do you
think?
think?
A child labor behind it. They don't use it in. They don't use the cola nut anymore. They use artificial.
For the Coca-Cola, but what about the chocolate? That's a point.
There are some other producers. I'm not sure about those producers. What do they use? But yeah, if Coca-Cola is not really using it anymore, I don't know if other producers or some other brands would still use it.
But it's very expensive.
Let's give a view as a homework. You guys know any other product they use questionable label? Let us know in the chat so we can resource it and running more fun thing for you guys.
Let's see what we can find for next week. Okay, so the next topic is also something that's very serious, and actually that's very, very sad. And it's not just the video that we're gonna show. Actually, when you do more research about this topic, it's actually insane. And it's South Korea, and they confessed and admitted that they have been deporting babies by force for adoption. And I want to say that South Korea is not the only country, but this is an ongoing investigation, and they just admitted to the involvement of the government.
It has earned an unusual title as the world's largest baby exporter. And Seoul is now apologizing to all those who were sent abroad like luggage so that adoption agencies abroad could profit. The adoption agencies falsified documents to show babies as orphans when they already had parents.
This is so sad because there are a lot of people that actually want to adopt, and they make it so hard, so difficult, so expensive. And now finding out that all this is just basically human traffic.
Yes, it's since the 50s to the 2000s, we have over 165,000 cases of babies who have been forcefully removed from their mothers, where papers were falsified by these agencies, and these people were deported to many different countries. The US received a large percentage of these babies, and the whole reason why they did this is because they wanted to reduce the number of single mothers and children who were, let's say, who came to be without marriage.
Wow.
Yeah. So the example that we have in the video was also like, I feel like a very special example. The guy who was taken to the Netherlands and who was adopted, he had a very difficult life. But apart from it, I find it interesting that he is the son of a Korean mother and a Black US soldier. So that was the reason why he was given away.
The US
You know, when absolutely, of course. But you know, when you mentioned something like, you know, they are trying to, or they did that because they were trying to figure out, or they're trying to not figure out, basically, or
reduce,
solving some problem, or reduce, you know, a problem or a situation. Like, well, I'm sorry, was that the best solution that you came up with? Honestly, like, was that the best solution? And on the other hand, you know, like, this is the other thing that really, it's not like shocked or surprised me, but like got me to really just stop at, like, it's South Korea. You know, we're not talking about, like, for example, you know, you have some other countries where you've got some serious social problems. Even, you know, we can talk about like maybe some poor countries, but like South Korea, you know, like, it's a highly advanced country, basically, you know, and you hear stories like this. This is for me, this is the crazy part and the whole conversation, right? You know, if you, like, for example, if we brought the news, or we heard the news about, like, this is happening in North Korea, okay, everyone would be like, yeah, of course, yeah, sure, that's how it is, right? But no, it is happening on the supposedly good part.
But this is the thing. That's exactly the thing. First of all, South Korea is definitely a puppet to the US, but apart from that, it's always these Western countries or Western following countries that claim, like, you know, we're so clean and we're so moral and all of this. These are like the worst people. And then there is the other aspect. One of the other reasons why they've done it is there is a lot of money involved in this. A lot of money.
That sounds like the real reason to me. Profits. Because, I mean, take care of single moms. Like, there are a lot of proud single moms out there that happy to deal without taking the child away from them.
It's the culture. It's culturally not appropriate to have the children without being married. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, the prophets are like the reason, and the single mom the excuse behind it.
Well, it's easier to take a child from a single mother, right? To coerce and force a single mother, who's desperate, and threaten her. You're not going to get any help. You're not going to find a job. You're not going to do this and that. Like it's so much easier to attack somebody who just had a baby and whose hormonal still weakened and everything is much easier.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, very much so. All right. So the next topic, I think you guys can talk more about it than me, is India did attack Pakistan after all because of Kashmir.
Yeah, and the reason sounds very familiar, right? Retaliation for a supposed terrorist attack, what we call it like a false flag. And India is follow textbook Israeli rhetoric. Like they are using one situation to cause 10 times the damage. And in the middle is the people that doesn't have the tools to defend themselves, like the Kashmir Valley civilians. They're in the middle of cross bombing.
I don't know. To me, it's very interesting. It's two nuclear
Nuclear
countries.
powers.
And India was just looking for a reason, and October 7 gave them the perfect reason to use that as something to go by.
Israel used October 7, yes. And another thing is like yesterday did they have a ceasefire for lasted 2 hours. 2 hours. And they, of course, they blame each other, but my bet is on India because they need this to take over the region.
Yeah.
Overnight, we may have just witnessed the beginning of the first new war of 2025, and both countries have nuclear weapons. In the early hours of Wednesday morning, India bombed 9 different locations in Pakistan, which they say were terrorist infrastructure. And they say that this was in retaliation for the terrorist attack in Kashmir last month. In these strikes, at least 26 people, including a 3-year-old girl, have died, and at least 46 others have been injured.
This is I don't understand. I do understand, but like, it's using a region as an excuse. Okay, it's using an area as an excuse, and that is so typically a British Empire colonizer thing. There's always this piece of land. And this piece of land may not belong to any of the countries who are fighting about it, okay? But all of a sudden, this piece of land is so important, and that's a very good excuse for countries to fight. Now, of course, like when we say countries, we know the actual history of India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
Anyway, and they were supposed to be one country, but again. Thanks to the Brits, okay, they became 2 countries. All right. So, and now they are fighting over one land and one more country. It's always about feeding on those conflicts, whatever that conflict is, whatever that those differences are. It's always about feeding on them. All right. And, those countries are fighting, and those major or main powers are just sitting back and watching and enjoying the show.
Yeah.
That's how it is typically all the time.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, the Kashmiri people want to be self-determined, and they want their liberation. They don't want to be ruled by any of these 2 countries. And I don't know, like a lot of people still don't know that the Hindu right-wing government in India has been going crazy on Christians, on Muslims for a very long time. Modi is the president or whatever he is very close with Netanyahu, and since he has been in power for the past 10 years, things are not going well for everybody else but the right-wing Hindus in India. So
And Kashmir Valley is basically the West Bank or Asian, because in Kashmir Valley you can find exactly the same thing that you find in the West Bank: the checkpoint, the destructions of home, the military occupation, the curfews, everything. So India is following everything that Netanyahu is doing, and now they did it exactly like they do in the West Bank, and now it seems like they're gonna copy what Netanyahu has been doing in Gaza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I keep saying, they have the same. They've got the textbook and they're just following it, and they apply some their own spices on it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
So the next topic is also very disgusting.
Oh my God!
It's not even actually funny. It's really not. So
it's basically human traffic, no, organ traffic.
yeah, so we went from babies to organs. And this also been something that's been going on for like a very, very long time. They even have like a Netflix series on this. I don't know if anyone saw this, where
I can't. I book coding Netflix too.
That was way before we were supposed to. It's called The Marked Heart.
We got to talk about what is happening in Kenya and how countless Germans were exposed for going to Kenya to target poor people and people in need so that they can then get their organs. This is an article that was published by one of the biggest media outlets in Germany, but multiple other media outlets were involved in this investigation as well. And the main person the authorities are after is an Israeli person who apparently is the mastermind behind this entire scheme.
A lot of trafficking happens usually in third world countries, and in this particular case we're talking about Kenya, but I want to point out it's not just Kenya. It just happens that there was a big article in the German media outlet that talked about it, but this is not exclusive to German citizens who are going to Kenya to buy kidneys for very cheap, like a few $1,000s, while a kidney in the West costs like $200,000, and you have to be on a wait list. But they are exploiting like people. They could come from other poor countries and desperate situations, or Kenyans themselves, and everybody else. Like a lot of Somalis also fall victim to this, where they have to sell a kidney. Well, they don't have to, but because of their situation that they're in and the need for money, that's what drives them to do so. And the supremacists, Westerners, obviously take advantage of this. And this is illegal. And once again, it's not our fault, but your favorite occupation or some people from your favorite occupation happen to be part of it.
The doctors performing these surgeries are Israelis doctor. True story. Check it out.
Yes, and there is this one guy. He's like a huge broker when it comes to these kind of deals. He runs and this is, they say this is all alleged, right? Because the investigation is not finished yet, so we still have to say allegedly, right? So there is this guy called Spolansky. That's what he goes by, or what he's known as. And he was seen, so he's an Israeli. He was seen in 2013 for the last time. He left Israel. He was seen for the last time in Israel. He left Israel and he was spotted in Thailand and Turkey since. And basically the authorities are trying to get him because he has been involved very much so. And this is a very serious thing. Like I remember there was a time in Morocco when we used to go, like my aunts and uncles, they always used to tell us when we go out, be careful, there's people out there like they just kill people for their organs and they abduct people, so don't stay out long, call us every every half an hour. And it was really hard. It became really hard to go anywhere because these people have their methods. Like you could be driving in a car, they still find a way to make you stop the car. and then they they cause accidents, or they put something in a way and you try to avoid it or whatever. So yeah, they do go to these countries, and Ukraine is a very known place for organ trafficking. There's a lot of that.
In the heart of Kenya, a dark trade is preying on the hopes and dreams of its youth. Impoverished young men are selling their kidneys for as little as Kish 130,000 and a motorbike. This is Joseph Japini's story. Japini was introduced to a broker who recruits young men for kidney harvesting. He underwent tests and had his kidney removed in Eldoret. He received a motorbike and cash 127,920, but at a great cost.
Yeah, in South America, we have horror stories about it. Like in Mexico, 2 years ago, a woman found a car full of antibodies where they have removed the organs. Like we have in this country. I wish was like something to scare the children, but it does happen. That's why my daughter stay in house all the time. Because it's scary. It's scary out there. Like these people don't care. They don't care of their children. They don't care if their baby. They only care about the money. And there are people desperate for organs. I understand, but please, make sure that take this to the right sources.
You just said the homeschooling these kids. They're not even going to school anymore. That's it.
I homeschooled my daughter for 3 years.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Really? Oh, that's amazing.
I did, but yeah,
I love it.
Sometimes I had to compromise.
Yeah.
It was great though. It was great. For those 3 years, I had the most peace of mind ever. I have her, I can see her every time, I also had the blessing to work from home. So it was good time. I knew peace for 3 years.
And I just want to point out, Maria did not homeschool her daughter while she was working.
To my boss listening.
Just making sure you guys don't get the wrong picture. She would never do something like that.
No.
No.
I did my work.
Exactly.
Yes.
And very thoroughly.
Very thorough. That's why I still there.
Exactly. Yeah, so Ray, was it in Syria maybe also like where you guys had like these traffickers coming and you were warned?
Yeah. Yes, of course. When we were young, yes, we had the same warnings that you got from your parents as well, Nez. But I wanted to also bring, during the Syrian, starting from 2011, during the Syrian conflict and the war, or so-called war, of course, people, like there had been those financial difficulties that people were facing. Okay. And some people, of course, needed the money so that they can run away and they can, make it to Europe or to a place where they can, get their asylum there. But at that time, I've heard so many stories about people who voluntarily, not donated, sold a kidney or some other organ just for them to get enough money so they can either survive or they can leave the country. They can afford, let's say, the costs of leaving the country. So yes, it had been there. And again, if you think about it, you would see that apparently, we've got here, not apparently, of course, it's obvious, we've got here two different groups. The group of, the people who have the money and the power in some countries, and the other group is the poor countries who are who are seen as, like a spare part, the place where you can get your spare parts from. And because of poverty and any social problems that those countries have got, right? And if you look at those poor countries, or let's say quote unquote poor countries, there are countries who have the resources who have everything, but they have been colonized. They have been put in the worst conditions, at least their people, so that they can't really take advantage or make use of their resources.
Mm.
Yeah. And like you said, who's so far who's leading these processes, it always ends up in the hands of some Zionist.
Surprise, surprise.
That's how it is. Yeah, that's how it is. So when for me, I like what I would say is like whenever you see a major social, financial, any sort of challenge in any country, just get search for like just go a little bit deeper in your research, and you'll end up at the same point. You'll end up at the same area with the same people. That's how it is.
Follow the money.
Exactly. It's always the money. Always the money. But some countries seem to be on the right side of history, like Honduras.
Yes. Palestinians are taking over South America.
How do you feel about it, Maria?
I'm so happy.
Taking over the world.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
We are taking over the world.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, so they went to Chile, they went everywhere, Maria. We talked about the president in El Salvador, who was a
we cannot talk about Salvador anymore.
Yeah, disappointment. But what's going on in Honduras?
Palestinians are playing a huge role in the presidential election this year in Honduras. Let me explain. Leading candidates for the two legacy parties of the country, the Liberal Party and the National Party, both of those candidates are full Palestinian descent. Start with Salvador Nasrallah, who's probably the most famous TV journalist in Honduras. I grew up watching him on television. He's been in politics for about a decade now, and he's the son of two Palestinian immigrants.
Well, the new president of Honduras is Palestinian, right? And the previous president, also Palestinian. Might as well name the country Palestine at this point.
I don't think the Palestinians would appreciate that. So we're being occupied for 100 years and now somebody else is even stealing our name?
Well, let's put like the Hispanic Palestinian or something. But yeah, it makes me happy.
Just like here, when you have something like New South Wales, for example, as a state, you can call it the New South Palestine or something.
Oh yeah, that would be good. Yeah, no, New South, oh my gosh, New South Palestine. That's even hard to say. New South Palestine, New South Palestine. Oh my God, that's too hard. New South Palestine.
But it does make me happy because when I started learning about Palestine in October 2023, I did find out that after the Nakba, a lot of people did migrate to South America. I have one of my friends actually that I met during the advocacy. Her grandmother flee with her mom in her tummy from the Nakba and end up in Nicaragua. So yes, we have a lot of Palestinians in South America, and we love them and respect them.
Do we know why they chose South America?
Oh, the weather? I guess.
Nobody really knows, right?
It is very
far. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably they were trying to get as far away as possible.
But you know how much it takes you to get to South America? Because my question, and this is why I'm asking this, right? So a lot of people, oh my gosh, I'm going to give it all away, who come from somewhere and want to enter the US, go that route. And a lot of people that way get stuck in South America.
Oh, that was the plan for the Palestinians, maybe, or
that's why I'm asking.
If you look at the Arabic population in South America, right? Of course, the majority I'm talking about, just like when you find out that El Salvador, for example, sorry, Honduras, for example, it's like they've got so many Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in Brazil and Argentina as well, we've got so many Lebanese, right? Like so many of them. Again, like they were running away from the conflict or running away from the whatever the situation that they're facing in those countries, in their countries, okay? And they went there. But I don't think that their plan was to maybe cross the border and go to the US. Maybe some of them later on decided to, like, because it was maybe it was doable. But so many of them just got settled there. Like you can see now, you've got politicians, you've got big businessmen, right? They built themselves some. They were very well established, right? So is it because maybe because of the older days or something, it was much easier to settle there? It was, there's some lack of some specific.
Why would you go there? Is it really because it was easier? And then why, my next question would be then, why do they have Spanish names?
But you
No,
would they
well,
used
look,
to
I
go ahead.
integrate. No, I think it's to integrate because look, I know some people here, right, in Australia, right, and they've got the Arabic names, they've got Arabic names, but they decided to change them. And I know everyone that is going to be watching today. They are going to say, "Oh, look at this guy. His name is Ray." Obviously, my name is not Ray. Okay.
He's Kevin.
Oh my God!
His name is Kevin.
You started a whole Jonathan.
Yeah, my name is Kevin. Exactly.
His name is Kevin.
You started a whole new problem for yourself. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Introduce you.
Yeah, because I am mentioning this.
Actually, Reynold, Kevin, Jonathan.
Exactly. That's exactly my real name. So yeah, that's exactly my real name. Yeah.
So no, but
what was it? Reynold, Jonathan, Muhammad.
Reynold, Reynold, Kevin, Jonathan. The second. Okay. No, but I don't know why I get annoyed by these things. I hate when people do that, and this is why I hate when people call me what they call me, because I have a real name, and just because you have problems pronouncing it, now I have to shorten my name so that you can say it. I have a big problem with it. I want to be called by my real name. What the hell?
Which is?
Everybody knows my real name, Maria. Don't make a secret out of it.
Well, look, my name is already short by default, right? And I had to shorten it into Ray. So
you mean Kevin, Jonathan? No, Reynold, Kevin, Jonathan.
Yeah, Reynolds is easy, to be honest. So why do I have to shorten it? But
Reynolds.
I ended up with Ray.
Reynold.
The worst. Raymond.
Raymond. Exactly. Raymond. What is this? Everybody loves Raymond. I hate that show.
Well, now you know why the comments always mentioning my name.
Oh my God.
No. So you're Raymond. No, Reynold, Kevin, Jonathan the second. Whoever the first is.
I don't know who's the first. The first name was I don't know. It was Hussam or Osman or something.
No, it annoys me that people change their name just to adapt to the West. I think it's crazy. And these people are calling themselves Carlos, Roberto. No, you're not.
Only you, Carlos. Only you, Roberto.
No, that's not
Alejandro.
Their name. It's not their name.
Let people be, dude.
No, this is not carrying the Palestinian torch.
But they have in the last name probably.
Oh, you mean Flores?
No.
Nasrallah. Okay, the current.
Nasrallah, yeah. Nasrallah is no.
The current president. Maybe he found a way to,
Well, but look,
to Spanishify it, or whatever. Spanishize it, wherever you want to call it.
Nasralito.
Nasralito, yeah.
Exactly.
But but there's the other person there, the other candidate. I think what's his name? Nasri Asfoura. But he added something like a small middle name for him. So it called himself Tito. So Nasri Tito Asfoura.
Oh, nickname.
Yeah, a nickname. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, that guy maintained the whole formula.
Compromise.
Yeah, that's a compromise. Yeah. Okay, I get it. You want to appeal to the Spanish people, but the other guy with Carlos Alberto Flores, whatever his name was, no, bro. You need to fix that.
Identity issues.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people have identity issues. We should talk about it actually one day.
Next question for next Saturday.
That will be your next question, Maria, for next episode.
If we have identity issues.
Yeah. Do you?
No.
Make something up.
Let's start now.
I don't have identity issues. Never had.
Kevin, you're not the.
Kevin, huh?
Kevin.
Jonathan. What? No, we say Raymond.
Reynolds.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about it in the next week's episode.
I have many issues, but identity is not one of them.
Thank God. Identity issues must be really crazy. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we have for this week. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in. And shout out again to Reasonable Doubt and everybody else who's watching.
I see you guys in the comment. Let's see who is first.
Oh God, we have a race going on. Okay.
It's a race. It's a competition.
Okay, though.
Okay.
See you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Peace out.
I'll see you next week, inshallah.